So what is in my camera bag this year for live events, travel, and shooting interviews? Well, in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down our entire setup, plus covering my new favorite tripod and favorite budget LED light coming up. Hey, what's up? Sean here with Think Media, bringing you the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video. And on this channel, we do a lot of tips and strategy videos, as well as tech gear reviews, just like this one. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And actually, at any point during the video, check out a complete list of all the gear mentioned. We'll summarize it all in the YouTube description below. Let's jump into the video. So here at Think Media, we actually test a lot of different cameras and use a lot of different kits for different scenarios. This particular kit is actually what we used recently at a live show here in Vegas. It's called CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. And myself and my team, we actually ended up shooting over 20 videos, and this was the setup that we chose. Now, a couple things that this setup needed to have: it needed to be 4K. We also wanted it to be light and portable, so all of this stuff fits in one backpack, so that's super nice. And then overall too, we wanted to have good audio and some of the other things that we'll be talking about. And one disclaimer is that this is also not a budget setup. A lot of the videos we cover here are some of the most affordable gear. All of this is pretty pricey, but keeping in mind, you actually can produce video quality that's, really as good or on par with broadcast setups that might cost tens of thousands of dollars in a very portable, nimble setup just like this. So even though this setup would run you maybe a couple grand, you could still get some results that are just stunning and amazing, and we'll be sharing some of that footage in this video. Okay, so starting off with the first item on our list, of course, is our main camera. And this year at CES, we used the Sony A7R Mark II. Now, this is actually Omar on the Think Media team's camera personally, so it was nice to have access to this. Last year, when we covered NAB, we actually started with the A6500, and that was because we wanted to shoot 4K video, and we still use that as a second shooter, as well as a shooter for B-roll and slow motion, but we wanted to step it up to the A7R Mark II because of full frame. So not only do we have 4K resolution in all the video content we shot, but we also have that full frame sensor. Super dependable body, produces great video shots, produces incredible just results, as well as great photos, which is also something that is important for us at a live event show. When we're creating video content and a bunch of videos for YouTube, we also want to create a lot of content for Instagram, for social media. We end up with a couple Dropbox folders full of photography that Omar was shooting this year that we end up using on social media and in different places. And so the A7R II is a killer camera as the base for our gear setup this year. And then as far as lenses go, most of the time we were just shooting with a 35mm 2.8 prime lens. It wasn't zoom, so if we needed to recompose the shot, all you have to do is move, get closer or further from the subject. But we love the prime lens because of the sharpness. Primes are really great for that. It has great compression in the way it ends up looking. The 35mm on a full frame sensor is just a great focal length for the shot that it produces. But we also in the bag had the 16-35 f4 to give us a little bit more versatility as far as wider shots as well as a zoom lens, and so that is great inside of the kit. And then we also had the 55 1.8, and so these would all be used for the video content as well as also photos that were shot during CES and on the go. And then the 55 was nice because it has a little bit more zoom than the other two, and if we were at a booth or covering specific content, it wasn't just the wide shot narrating through the content, it was also the tight up shots, getting product shots and things like that, which are very important when maybe showcasing, different items or different things you want to feature at a live event. And so the 55 1.8 was great, not just because of that focal length, but also 1.8 is nice to get that bokeh, a little bit of a blurry background and different effects there. So really just that camera and these three lenses were pretty much all we needed for our main shooter. But then we also had the A6500 with us for a couple reasons. One, you always want to have that backup camera in case your camera goes down. Two, one of the things that we brought this along for was so we could shoot slow motion. And so the A6500 can do 120 frames per second at 1080p. And even though all of our final videos were in 4K, a lot of times we will just up process and just blow up that image, and most people can't tell. Also considering most people aren't really watching in 4K and pixel peeping and looking at all those details. So having that backup shooter for a few photos, some of the B-roll, but also for slow motion and some of the shots that you're seeing here, we just gave us for transition content, micro content, for just storytelling around the event. It was nice to also have the A6500. And one other essential piece of kit when it comes to the camera and the lenses is an ND filter. Now this is a ProMaster variable ND, about $40 on Amazon. And you could just screw that onto your lens, depending on what lens thread size you have. You could get different ND filters that are different sizes. But what's nice is it's kind of like sunglasses for your lens. And so when we're shooting indoors, we need all the light that we can get to get the shot that we want. But outside, there's so much light that it'll mess with your aperture, your shutter speed, and sometimes you can't have the camera settings that you want without one of these ND filters. And so for shooting video clips like this, when we stepped outdoors at a live event, it is essential to have a good ND filter in your kit so that you can always get that crispy shot, no matter what the lighting conditions are. Next up is the tripod. Now this was a recent upgrade that I grabbed during the Black Friday season last year. It's by K&F Concept. It's a 62-inch tripod. I forget the model number. Again, I'll link everything in the description below. But this particular tripod's awesome because it's super light. It comes in at just 2.5 pounds, and why I love it is because it collapses down to just 18 inches tall total. So I've been traveling with this lately. I can put it in my suitcase, but also it'll fit in a backpack without being too tall, yet it also expands to 62 inches for the max height. Now, I'm actually 6'1" myself, so most tripods are a little bit low for me. So getting a taller tripod that's over 60 inches is really important. And it's just a great tripod all around. I think normally this is about $80 on Amazon, but I grabbed it during a lightning deal, which doesn't just happen, by the way. I've seen lightning deals happen not only during the holidays, but even throughout the year. And so I think I grabbed it for around $60 when I was able to pick this up. Okay, so we talked about the camera, the lenses, the tripod. Now let's talk about the microphone. And for CES and for specifically shooting live events and shooting interviews, we've been using the Sennheiser AVX setup. And so this is a really great digital wireless mic setup. We just were plugged directly into the A7R Mark II. We had the wireless receiver right on top of the camera there. And then we use the handheld mic. And the reason I love using this particular mic is because it's great for live events where there's a lot of ambient noise. We also have the AVX lapel mic, which you can clip anywhere, but that's better in scenarios where there's not a lot of background noise. CES, the show floor and in a convention center is incredibly loud. There's lots of echoes, there's lots of different things going on. So we found to get the best audio quality across, we like to use a condenser mic that's handheld like this. It's also more versatile. And if you get into an interview situation, you can just kind of interview the person around with that handheld type of a vibe. So we also did a full video covering the AVX system. We'll link that up as well on the YouTube card and put it in the description. And then for lighting, we use this Neewer Photo Studio 176 LED light. Now, this is one of my favorite budget LED lights right now because you have a lot of brightness. It's really easy to get. The battery lasts for a long time, but you can get extra batteries. So we did that as well. And you get a couple, diffusers, so you can do you can change it to amber, or you can just kind of do the daylight to color temperature that it is normally. But shooting it in a live event like CES, it is essential to definitely have some lighting on you. We also brought with our like a lume cube as well. I always like to have extra lighting, especially when it's really dark and you want to highlight certain products, or even yourself if you're the subject that's on camera. Some areas of CES were very bright, but a lot of times it would cast shadows kind of in your eyes and on your face. And so having a fill light right on camera like this was pretty essential. And why I love this light is that it doesn't break the bank. I believe it's about $24. We ordered some extra batteries and some things like that. And again, we also have a dedicated video on this, so you can check that out if you want some more information about this light. But definitely one of my favorite new pieces of gear that we added to our kit this year. And then as far as keeping the gear organized on top of the camera, we like to use these kind of mountable brackets. Now there's two different ones that we use. There's this one that I think I got with some other kit, but usually we use this 2-level one. It's nice because you can put the audio receiver on one, as well as give a little bit more height to the LED light so it can kind of angle down on the subject. But again, these kind of brackets are usually $5 to $10. You can grab them on Amazon and other places. And just a great way to kind of assemble your whole kit together, and will also let you accessorize with other types of accessories you might want to use for shooting as well. Now there are a few other essentials for making sure you have everything you need with a kit like this. One of my favorites is this Pelican case. Just a great way to stay organized with your SD cards. And typically what I like to do is facing up means they're empty and ready to go, and facing down means they're used and they need to be captured. But a great way to stay organized and keep your SD cards protected. The most important part, of course, of any shoot is the content itself, and you want to make sure that that content gets home or gets to the office or wherever you need it to go safely. And then the other thing is that when we're shooting 4K, we definitely need to use SD cards that can support it. And so we've been using these Lexar Professional cards. This is a 95 megabytes per second one that has been working great for shooting 4K. We also got, I think, the 150 megabytes one as well. But there are certain SD cards that just won't work if they're not fast enough to handle 4K and higher bitrate video formats. And so if you really want to move into 4K shooting, definitely make sure that you invest in some good SD cards. Additionally, we always make sure that there's some headphones or earbuds in the bag so that we can monitor the audio during video. And that's one reason why we love the A7R2 as well, because it does have that headphone jack. And you know, you can kind of go with or without this. You know, all this content for us was pretty mission critical. And so we do want to be able to monitor our audio. And so that headphone jack is nice. But the other thing that's nice about like the AVX setup is because it's a digital microphone setup, not analog, you really never get any interference. And if you have your audio dialed, it pretty much stays consistent. So there are times when we'll shoot with DSLR or mirrorless bodies that don't have a headphone jack out. And in that case, we just get a couple sample audio clips, make sure it sounds good, and then pretty much just hope that everything turns out. And with this particular mic setup, it usually does. And then there's always a few other accessories that we make sure that we have in our camera bag. One, of course, is a power bank. This one from AUKEY is pretty great. I forget, it's 20,000 mAh. And so not only do you have a lot of power to keep your phone going for social media, but it also gives you enough power to even charge up, for instance, the Sennheiser AVX mic setup. You can actually just go USB micro plugged right in there and charge that on the go in case you forgot to charge something. So usually we have a couple different power banks with us. And then finally, there's the camera bag itself. This year we used this Ogio bag. Pretty cool backpack, but it's actually not a camera bag as far as the compartments and things go. And I'm actually been in the market for one. So I'd love to hear from you if maybe there's a brand or a particular camera bag that you use. Definitely post that in the comments, the name, and that will help not just me, but other people here in the Think Media community. Question of the day, what do you think about this setup and how do you think the footage looks? And I'd also love to hear from you if you have any camera or run and gun video gear that you recommend specifically for travel or live event coverage. Definitely post that stuff in the comments below. And remember that some of the best insights come from you, the Think Media community. So definitely connect with everybody in the comments section. So thanks for checking out this video. Subscribe for more videos just like this. And if you actually want to see our entire playlist from CES with all the videos we shot with this setup, just click or tap the screen right there. For another video from Think Media, just click or tap the screen right there. Until next time, Think Media is bringing you the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video. Keep crushing it, and we will talk soon.